Look at that bum wrist he thinks he can play an air guitar with. And we are live here on Hot Tag Takes on HamiltonRadio.net, channel HR2. I am your host, John BRECKO. This is my co-host, PJ Morin. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I hurt my wrist, but I'm doing good.
Thankfully, it was the right wrist this time. You high-fived me with the right wrist. You didn't on the last show.
I did not. No. It was hurting, and then it was hurting to the point where I said, you know what? I think I'm gonna go spend $30 at Walgreens.
How'd you do that? How'd that happen again? That's the first time I've seen that on you.
So you see, it is a long story, and I can make it very short. The short story, I'm Batman.
That's fair. I could see it. I don't remember Bruce Wayne having that haircut, but
I mean, listen, they're trying to make them all look like
Bruce Wayne in his emo phase, ladies and gentlemen.
I mean, they're trying to make them all look like lesbians nowadays and all them Disney movies and whatnot.
That's fair. They're trying to be inclusive.
Yeah,
being Batman.
Yo,
that's what it is.
Listen, before I could grow the beard, I had the long hair in high school. I looked like a lesbian for 3 years straight.
That's okay. I was gonna say, did anybody ever try to hit on you thinking you were a girl?
In the city, I've been mistaken as a woman many a time.
That's fair.
From behind.
That sounds like it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, no, but then here's the thing. But that's only when I have this on. But then when I take this off, and people see the tremendous amount of body hair that I have, they're like, "Oh,
you're not as handsome of a woman as I thought you were, miss."
Well, their first thought is, "Oh, that's a transgender," and then I'm like, "Nope."
But the reason why this is over here is because Tracy Brannigan of WTF with Tracy and Friends wanted us to try this, which we will be doing later. But I want to make sure we bring our guest on first and that I introduce him to everybody. So without any further ado, this is a show that I've been looking forward to for several months. He's a fellow radio show host for WILLY 98.7 and 1550 AM and Bryan Broadcasting. He was also a DJ for KBUS Radio in the late 80s and early 90s. On Conversations with Kenny Graves, he's interviewed all kinds of people in many different professions. He's interviewed WWE wrestlers of the past and present, such as Trish Stratus, Kevin Owens, Mickie James, and Mark Henry, as well as other promotions such as Adam Cole, Ricky Starks, and Ryan Nemeth. He's also interviewed comedians such as Donnell Rawlings and music artists from Connie Francis to Chris Cagle, as well as many friends of the show, including Seth Bunting, Alexis Marrero, Ashley Jordan, Rhonda Ray, and Savannah Ray. We have a lot to talk about on this show, so ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Kenny Graves!
Kenny Graves!
All right.
Appreciate you having me on, guys, and happy birthday.
Thank you, man.
Your birthday episode.
I appreciate it.
This is the birthday
episode. By the way, just want to shout out everybody who said happy birthday as well. I really, really appreciate everybody that reached out.
Hey, everybody who watching right now, you should definitely not go to Instagram and Facebook and look up John BRECKO and Hot Tag Takes and comment happy birthday on everything and leave a like and comment on everything, especially on the YouTube shorts. Comment happy birthday on all of them.
That's fine. Feel free to say sweet nothings to me. I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Perfectly fine.
Yeah, I'll just say
like
nothing.
PJ did. He was the last person to say something.
Hey. I'm a young, silly little guy. What are you going to do about it? I'm a little crazy sometimes.
How are you, Kenny? It's awesome to have you on.
Appreciate it, man. Looking forward to it myself. We booked this a couple of months back, 3 months ago.
Yes, we did.
So I'm doing great. I get up early, so I'd like to have been in my studio tonight, but I'm doing this from home.
Yeah,
nice.
You did mention that your show's on real early in the morning. Hey, that's when people are listening. That's when you get everybody tuning in, and that's when people can really enjoy what you're putting out on their ride to work. So kudos to you for getting up in the morning. I've done morning shows in the past. I know how hard that is. So I appreciate you doing that grind. Appreciate that, man. That means a lot, especially in something like radio. But the first thing I should say is something that I found out about Kenny's Corner. That's Corner with a K, anybody who wants to look it up. Thank God your last name doesn't start with a K, because that would start to sound very suspect if he added his last name in there.
It would indeed, yes.
But shout out to your co-host, Julie Peters, who also had a birthday. Her birthday was on Sunday. Big shout out to Julie Peters.
Julie Peters!
Yeah.
We got to shout her out. So what I want to ask is, because I like to ask the important questions on this show, there were two choices that were on the table for her birthday. I got to know, was she going with axe throwing or was she going with the smash room and breaking stuff?
They did the axe throwing.
They did the axe throwing.
And, she's like a small ninja. So she managed to hit the bullseye
I'd be
with the
scared.
axes.
I'd be scared. I don't want to mess with that person who hits the bullseye on that. Was it first try?
Yeah, she learned fast.
Oh man, I'm not messing with that lady. Never in my life. But honestly, because when I was thinking of the two choices, I got intrigued by the smash room because I thought of going axe throwing 1 year, so I knew that option was always on the table to at least try it. I don't normally think of the smash room and going and breaking different stuff. What do you normally break? Do you break like glass? Do you break wood? What do you break? Have you done that?
No, I have not, but I've heard about it. And it's mostly anything that's glass or something you can shatter or destroy with a bat or anything heavy you can pick up. And
that's beautiful.
You blow up everything you can in the given time. And it's supposed to be a great stress reliever.
Are you going to do a smash room, PJ?
I have always wanted to do a smash room.
This has nothing to do with your relationship status, just so you know.
What?
There's no smash rooms like that.
Oh, as in sexual intercourse. I thought you were talking about the kind of room where you break stuff.
Yo, that's exactly what I was talking about.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
So
no, I
sure
would.
you know.
I mean, both of the rooms that are in question, I would do both of them.
I'm not going to lie. I had to specify for myself.
However, for the one that you're asking for, the one where you break things, well, technically you can break
It does
things.
sound fun, though, doesn't it?
I mean, technically you can break things in both of those rooms, but either way, the one where you break items. Well, hold on. Depends. Hold on. The one where you damage.
His autism's kicking in.
The one where you damage good. Hold on. No, that's both of them again. The one that doesn't involve sex.
There you go.
There we go. I got it.
Eventually, he got there.
The one that one that you're talking about. Yeah, I'd do that. I'd break some shit.
Yeah, it sounds fun.
Yeah.
doesn't it?
Yeah. Sorry, I was on my phone for a moment there. I was posting up the link so we can get more people on here watching.
He does. He tries to help us out.
Also, I
He does a good job with
just
that.
got mad hoes, dude. No, I'm kidding.
We did talk about the smash room, so
Yeah, listen.
you know what? But I'm going to ask a couple of questions from Kenny's Corner because I did want to make sure that I watched a few episodes of it. So I'm going to start with Kenny's Corner, if that's all right with you. The next one is you guys talked about shark attacks and memes. So I want to know from you, do you personally think sharks are eating enough people, or do these great whites and hammerheads need to step up their game? We ask the important questions. I need to know.
Well, my honest answer is I wish stupid people tasted better to sharks. I don't think they're eating enough. And if they can help us thin out the herd, all the better.
Yeah. They're not getting rid of the right people is what you're trying to say.
Exactly.
And we need to point the right people in their direction because you think there'd be a little bit more flavor there.
A little push. Push into the water.
Little bit more flavor there.
Yeah.
I
A
am
little more seasoning.
Listen, I am a swim instructor full time. I'm familiar with pushing people into the water.
That's true.
Some of them I'm familiar with throwing. Some of them need a little bit of an extra nudge. You know what I mean?
I'm so much whiter than John, and it upsets me.
Yeah, that's pretty weird. I'm not used to anybody being whiter than me on this show.
No, Ruben.
I mean, it's not that you're not that far off.
I mean, no. But look at that screen. Maybe it's the lighting or something. But I feel like I look like 1:45 p.m. outside.
I feel like the body hair kind of helps you, and it almost gives you that sunset feel.
Ooh, should I take my shirt off?
All
I have
right.
more hair down there.
Let's not. I'm okay. There are things that I want to see in my life. I've seen you shirtless enough.
No, you haven't.
Yes, I have.
No, you've not.
I've seen you unbuttoned at my wedding, and I've seen you shirtless plenty of times.
I did. Oh,
Kenny's over there sipping his tea because he doesn't want to see it either.
Did you seriously think that you were gonna invite me to your wedding, where there's alcohol flowing and dancing, and my shirt wasn't gonna come off at one point or another?
I knew buttons were coming off. I didn't know how many, but I think with what I expected, I think I was okay.
Knew what you were signing up for.
I mean, I knew. That's why I'm saying a few buttons. All right. But anyways, next question from Kenny's Corner. Do you ever go back these days to watching the show Underdog? Because you mentioned that in an episode that was one of your favorite shows growing up. So do you ever go back to watching that?
That's a long time ago. Let's see. That was 70s, early 70s. I was little. I haven't seen Underdog in
In a
probably
long
20
time?
years. I'd
Okay.
like to see it. That's
Yeah.
a good memory.
Because I was wondering if you ever go back and watch like childhood shows. I don't know if they
I
ever
should.
have. Yeah. I don't know.
YouTube is great for that, right?
Yeah. I don't know if they ever have that stuff on like Boomerang or anything like that. Because you know how they used to like play all the old cartoons.
Smurfs.
Yeah. Not even Smurfs. Like back in the
Flintstones.
day, they were playing some really really old stuff. Like when I was growing up.
I'm 21, so when I was growing up, I had Smurfs on there.
You had Smurfs on there.
I had Smurfs,
Because I had
Flintstones.
I had Jetsons.
I also had Jetsons.
I think I had Flintstones. Yeah, I had stuff like that on there.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you
I don't think Tom and Jerry was quite on there yet.
No, it was not.
No.
No.
But I didn't know if maybe it would be like on there. I didn't know if it would maybe be on YouTube. I didn't know if you were ever like feeling one of those episodes, you know, I want to watch something from my childhood. Maybe Underdog.
I mean, listen. Worst case scenario,
Yeah.
if it's not on any streaming services, they definitely got some box set for like $20 on Amazon somehow, some way.
Absolutely. Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that at all.
But I was reading about it, right? And I saw, because I've actually never seen the show. He's not all that great at helping people, right?
Okay.
So he stopped a bank robbery by shooting lasers at the bank and setting it on fire, and then putting the fire out by blowing the building away. And I kind of fell in love with the idea of that, actually.
Okay.
Like, have you ever seen Will Smith in Hancock?
No.
Like, that's immediately what I thought of when he like stops the train and crushes half of it.
I've seen that scene. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Like, that's exactly what I thought of when I think of Underdog. I'm like, it's like the exact same thing almost. Two entirely different things. Hancock gets pretty dark towards the end, but
I mean, listen. He technically saved the day. He at least saved.
well, he saved the day because the bank no longer exists.
yeah.
Criminals didn't get the money because nobody did.
There's no longer an issue at hand.
If you can't protect the money, then nobody could have it.
Yeah. There's no more bank. Therefore, there's no more issue.
I think we're trying to, kind of pick Underdog up a little bit.
Yeah. No. I love Underdog.
Destruction
Dude.
of property, but
Yeah, but like,
he
okay.
made sure nobody got the money.
Yeah, okay, but like the town will sell the property. They'll get a nice little bodega on the corner. Who cares?
Yeah,
There'll be another
That's
bank
fair.
somewhere.
I'm with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's always banks.
Be careful with that hand, by the way.
I'm good.
But I have one more question from an older episode. You mentioned
Okay.
how you never clean behind your couch. As a fellow person who also never goes to do that and loses clothes in different areas of the couch constantly, mostly socks. When's the
Yes.
last time you cleaned behind your couch, and what's the weirdest thing you remember finding behind it?
Oh my God. It's probably been 5 months since I've even moved the couch. So weirdest thing I found behind it, my W-2. And I had been looking for it. I thought I was going to have to file for an extension, but there it was behind the
Dude,
couch.
mine's in my car. Why do I feel like that's going behind the couch now? I just picked mine up from work today.
It hath been foretold. Your W-2 will get lost in the land of behind the couch.
Like, that's exactly where it's going. I could see it. I think probably the most awkward thing I've ever experienced that has to do with my couch is because we've moved a couple times in the last few years because, rent and we don't have a house yet. So, when we've been moving to different places, things obviously get lost behind there. And I think the most awkward thing is when you have family trying to help you out and you find some of those clothes behind the couch. And then you're trying to like pull them out.
Yeah, you're like,
get
oh, no.
everything
There's no mess. There's no mess.
trying to sweep up.
There's no mess that was swept under this carpet. No.
Oh, dude, it was me and one of Abby's uncles. We were trying to move the couch, and when we were kind of getting stuff like out from under it just to like move everything, he just started chucking different pieces of clothes everywhere, and I was like, I don't know how to feel about this right now. Like, there was no hesitation whatsoever. Like, just went straight in.
Listen, the man wanted to get a job done, and that was standing in his way.
That's fair.
He just
No, I'm not mad at it. That's
moved the
100%
debris that
true.
was stopping his mission from being complete.
No,
He understood the assignment.
He
That's
understood the assignment. Thank you,
Exactly.
sir.
exactly.
Yo,
Put the test in front of him, and he understood.
Ruben, do you have an applause track back there? Can we play that?
He's gonna have to YouTube search that, but
Oh, no. If you got to YouTube search it, then the bit will be dead. Or actually, no, dude. It'd be really funny if I heard an applause sound effect in like a minute.
what do you think? Drum roll for like? Yeah, we're over here trying to ask him a different question. We hear a random applause.
Yeah, then in the middle of his response, you just get a woo! Yeah!
You know, it wouldn't be the first time Ruben's done that, actually. So,
Oh, I love that. Ruben, I love you. I love you and your bald head.
no, but I'm going to transition to conversations with Kenny Graves next. You've interviewed all kinds of different people. I'm about to mention a few of them, including everyone I've mentioned on the intro. But I do want to mention some of the others that, you know, I wasn't able to mention then. I put down 4 that I would love to hear you talk about on the show today. And the first one I'll start with that caught my attention was the owner of the oldest operating blacksmith shop in Texas and the owner of the Phoenix Knives, Cowboy Szymanski. Talk about that show.
We become buddies. What a great guy. He was also on the invite-only first season of Forged in Fire.
Yeah.
And he was a guy, he was in the X Games when he was young.
Okay.
And he kind of traveled around, and he got somehow, like a guy building weapons with fire. So, and
Okay.
he started, traveled around, learned his craft. And I like talking to him because he has these huge events now
Okay.
called Texas Select, and they bring in forgers from all over the U.S.
Yeah.
And they'll come together, and you can get custom stuff made or buy custom. I took my grandson. He made his own knife. He got to forge it himself. They helped him, obviously.
Wow.
But out of a half of a horseshoe. And so he left there with a beautiful blade. And they have really cool things at these events. And I think they'll have one in the spring.
Okay.
And it's down here near Houston. But it's a great thing. But Cowboy Szymanski is a neat individual to talk to.
So
Beautiful.
your grandson at the end of he had like this horseshoe knife.
Yeah, it's a great looking blade. It had a little sheath with it to put it in.
Oh,
So,
that's
yeah,
so
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Can you
Of
imagine?
course, that's the easy one you take kids to do. Now, if you really are wanting a real nice weapon, they'll help you where you forge it yourself. But you can leave there with any size we can go with a Crocodile Dundee blade if you want. And they can make anything.
That's beautiful.
I want to talk about this first. That was nice
take it.
timing. That's better timing than I'm used to. That was pretty long. I got over that pretty
Ruben,
quick.
everybody. Our producer.
No, but I want to talk about this real quick, and I might actually get in trouble for talking about this, but it might be worth it.
John!
Well, it's not because of anything I did, but so you know my nephew CJ, right?
Yes.
You saw him at the wedding. He was one of the kids running around.
Yeah.
So his dad, he took him to bring your child to work day. He actually took him to his grandpa's job.
Okay.
Abby's dad's. So, like, he took him like all throughout the police station because my father-in-law he's a mechanic for the state police. So they took his grandson in there. They took him all throughout the area, and there's this picture of him, not like with like anything like a horseshoe knife, but there's this little 4-year-old with this like big ass AK just in a picture. Obviously, he's got people with him and stuff like that. But this little 4-year-old with this gun that's like twice his size, just a picture of it just floating there. And it's just the greatest thing I think I've ever seen. It's epic looking.
Children with weaponry.
He was smiling so hard in it.
I feel like I've seen that on Instagram before, and I love that picture.
You probably haven't.
Yeah, is it not on
Because I'm not going to be the one who gets in the most trouble. So that's all I'm going to say.
Then maybe I've seen another picture of another small child holding a rifle.
Yeah, and it might not be my nephew, bud. Sorry. Because
I have a lot of respect for your nephew.
I know what that would have looked like. if
Ruben, laugh
that
track.
got posted.
Applause track. His nephew's cool.
My nephew is pretty great. I'll brag about him any day of the week. You asked for a laugh track, just so you know.
So, Kenny, what's your favorite convenience store?
What the fuck? What kind of question is that?
Hey, I'm in
It's a great
Texas.
one.
It's Buc-ee's. Buc-ee's, baby. Buc-ee's all the way.
Buc-ee's. I've never heard of Buc-ee's. Please fill me in. I know Wawa and I know 7-Eleven.
But it's spread everywhere.
I know Circle K.
It's larger than a department store. It's larger than a Walmart. And they have over 100 gas pumps. And they have the best food. And they have the coolest gifts and beef jerky and sandwiches. And I'm telling you, it's a whole brand.
So,
BUC-CEES. You have to Google that yourself. I'm telling you, it's an experience.
If I'm ever in your neck of the woods, my good sir, I'm going to Buc-ee's.
They're branching out. They've got them as far east as, I think, Florida now. And up into Tennessee, and I think they're getting one in North Carolina. So they're inching their way up closer to you guys.
Beautiful.
I was going to say, my parents live in Florida, and I know me and Abby were trying to do a vacation to South Carolina in December.
You going
to
Buc-ee's?
That might have to be part of that trip.
You going to Buc-ee's?
I might.
You should go to Buc-ee's.
I might.
Hey, by the way, cleanest restrooms on the planet.
Really?
Not even a close second to theirs.
Okay.
Really?
That's pretty cool.
Listen, I will say I did have my best bathroom experience recently, and I do want to share it now.
Sure.
So my sister, she was performing at Carnegie Hall in the city with her high school. So me and my family got to go for free. Not for free, but I got to go for free because my mom paid for the tickets. So we go there, right?
It's okay.
I'm freshly 21 at that point, so I can finally buy alcohol legally. I mean, I've never really gotten carded. I had the beard, but like professional place will card you. I get a beer, and I'm like, oh, before we go in, I think I got to take a shit. I walk into this bathroom. The toilet greeted me. The toilet went and opened up. I sat on the toilet. It was preheated, dude. It was a preheated toilet seat.
Buc-ee's might have to step their game up.
Buc-ee's wanted to set their game up because that was the most pleasant, explosive diarrhea I've ever had in my life. No, it was. No, dude, no, it was one of those ones where I felt bad. I had to get toilet paper and start scrubbing on the inside of the toilet bowl.
I'm not going to lie.
And then wash my hands thoroughly afterward. You ever have that kind? Yeah, it was bad.
I feel like a heated toilet seat, if you're like really on fire, I feel like that's a bad combination.
I mean, it soothed.
I feel like it's sunburn out in the heat.
Touche.
Yeah, that would be something, man. Oh man, but
For those of you guys who want to know,
it does sound pleasant. I feel like if it's really like exploding and it's like on fire, like I feel like that's the only way that could turn out bad.
Kenny, what's the worst shit you've ever taken?
You don't have to answer that one.
Yo, back in '93, dude. I had a lot of natural ice that night. It wasn't a good night.
I've had a lot. I've had a lot. I can't recall that. I don't think you can recall that.
I was born 10 years after '93.
And you still can't recall that.
No.
But I mean, if I had to say, it would probably be like St. Peter's when I was in college from some of their food. If I had to guess one thing. But anyways, we were talking about some of the conversations with Kenny Graves. We talked a little bit about Cowboy Szymanski. The next person I have on here is actually your most recent interview up there that I saw with singer, songwriter, and Army veteran Bart Crow.
Yeah, Bart Crow's a Texas music staple. I mean, he's been around a long time, has some anthems in the genre. He was a veteran as well, which I'm always partial to our veterans, but he's going to be a part of our big event for the year, which is the first weekend of March, which is the Texas Birthday Bash.
Oh, nice.
We celebrate Texas independence, and we'll probably have another crowd of about 20,000 for the.
Oh, wow. That's beautiful. That's Texas pride right there.
Oh, yeah.
Indubitably,
I'll tell you what.
Nobody like Texans like
you silly banana, you.
I'll tell you this. People have a lot of different opinions about a lot of different places to live. so far, everybody that we've had that's been from Texas is proud of being from Texas.
Yeah,
That's what I'm gonna say.
Texans are a very proud people. If there's a big comedy scene out there, I'm definitely not thinking about going out to Texas at some point.
There's a couple people that I know that have been to a couple places in Texas.
John Michael went.
John Michael went.
John Michael went.
I was gonna say I've done a couple shows with Gina Hyena. She likes Texas a lot. I see her posting stuff on Instagram where she's in Texas all the time.
What the fuck was that, Ruben?
All I know is that wasn't a stage applause.
It was not. It was some smooth jazz for about 0.65 seconds.
But speaking of Texas, we got a Texas artist next, Todd Sanders, who's made art for Willie Nelson. Talk a little bit about that.
Man, if you've ever watched the Joe Rogan podcast, which who hasn't, right?
Yeah.
You know the big sign behind him with the UFO and the thing coming down. It says he made that.
Whoa.
Yeah. So and he said anytime Rogan gives him a shout out, his business booms. But he was an artist and he was trying to find his niche. Interesting guy to talk to. And he's part of that whole Austin scene, which is they should be in a different state because it's a different vibe than the rest of Texas, but it's cool for what it is. And he trying to find his own niche in the art world. It's kind of like pop art, but mixed with neon, and it's rustic, and it's like roadside stuff, and it's his own thing. And he's got a book he put out about his work with some prints, and I haven't been over there yet. We've kind of became buddies. We had a good conversation. But I'm going to go take a look at his shop because he does custom work. He does have pieces you can just get. And so I'm excited to kind of see what his shop has.
Beautiful. I looked at, a little bit of his stuff. And I might be a little bit off base when I say this, but, because, when we were over in Arizona, we went on Route 66 for a little bit. It was when we were coming back from the Grand Canyon.
Yeah.
And when I was looking at Todd's stuff, it was kind of reminding me of that day on Route 66 and the Grand Canyon. A lot of the different sites I've seen. It was reminding me of that. So
like I asked him, I said, if they were real people, would the Griswold family want to stop there? Would Clark Griswold plan a stop at his shop? And he's like, oh, absolutely. Okay. Because that's on National Lampoon's Vacation. That's the kind of thing they would want to see as a family.
Oh, that's cool. That's awesome for real. But
the stars at night are big and bright. Big in the heart of Texas.
I'll tell you what's not big and bright. Ruben Rodriguez over there in the other room.
What do you mean big and bright, yo, dude?
Only thing that's big and bright is his bald head.
Yeah, I was about to say, dude, that light shining on his head, looking like half a milk dud over there.
Dude, you look like a light bulb.
He looking like a moldy milk dud with that hair in the back of his head, though. God damn.
I look straight at you with my head, and I think I have an idea up here.
Yo, Ruben, while I'm making fun of you, I want to remind you that I appreciate all that you do for the show.
DJ can do this by himself.
I'll kiss you.
All right, the last one that I have here is award-winning actor and filmmaker John Schneider.
Oh, God, what can you not say about John Schneider? He's a pop culture icon.
Yes.
I grew up with him as Bo Duke on the Dukes of Hazzard. He was Superman's dad on Smallville.
Oh, yeah.
His country music career was really good. He had 6 or 7 number one hits in that span throughout the 80s. Of course, he's a filmmaker now. He has this huge space down in Louisiana, and they're actually making films there.
Oh, that's cool.
He tragically lost his wife towards the latter part of last year, and he called her "my smile," and I grieve with him because I never got to meet her. But I interviewed him right before she passed, and they had just had their first grandchild, and we're loading up the van, taking a road trip to go be there for that brand new grandbaby.
Yeah,
and he was on top of the world, and
I'm sure.
And eventually, I mean, he'll figure out a way to grieve and keep living. But I'm just hoping he gets there quickly. He's taking this real hard. Of
course.
But a wonderful human being, and I love everything about John Schneider. And he was just on, what was it, The Masked Singer? I don't watch it, but I did see where they unveiled and it was him on there, and everybody was real shocked.
Yeah. Shout out to John Schneider. We're with you, man. Thoughts and prayers, 100%. I just recently got married myself, so. You know,
Yeah.
I feel that. But I don't mean to, just quickly transition off of that. But we mentioned a couple of the wrestlers in the intro that you had on. You even sent me the interview you did with Kevin Owens after it happened. What I want to ask is, I know you've been a fan of wrestling ever since the Von Erichs were performing in the ring. How did that lead to ring announcing? I know you've only done it like once or twice, but how did it lead to doing ring announcing in the first place? Because that's something that I've wanted to try. I've done commentary a little bit. I've done color for some different high school sports, in the area. But how did it lead to ring announcing? I want to talk a little bit about that.
Well, I hadn't been back in radio. I got out of radio in '95, and I didn't get back into 2018.
Yeah.
Really?
Well, after I'd been in a couple of years, I'd heard the story that a wrestling school started up just 20 minutes up the road in Bryan College Station.
Okay.
And eventually I reached out, got an interview with the guy who runs it. He was a wrestler. He was big in Texas and in the southern states. Injury took him out, but his wife said, "Why don't you go teach?" I think he had a regular job and wasn't happy. So he started this school up, and they're phenomenal. They partner up now a lot with Booker T's school, which is in Houston.
Okay.
Really?
And they send people back and forth, and they're phenomenal. They go around our area, which is like 7 counties in this particular little area we're in.
Okay.
And they do great shows, and it's a lot of fun. It reminds me why I loved wrestling when I was a kid, because I see the little kids run up and get autographs and things like that, the way we did when the big names were there. Everybody crowd around the ring, and they'd actually, before the match, be signing autographs and stuff. In today's world, you don't see that anymore.
Yeah.
But this kind of gives you that, for my age, it gives me that nostalgia of why I fell in love with pro wrestling. Yeah. And for the younger crowd, it gives them a show they can feel the energy of. It's hard to get that when you're young and maybe you don't understand what all you're seeing in a large stadium or a large venue. You can get that and understand it better when you can almost get sweat knocked on you, front row. And they do great work. And that's how I got it. I kind of got to do a lot of interviews with the owner, and they raise money for good charities and things. And he invited me in to do it. And I've done it a couple of times, and it's been a thrill.
Oh, yeah, man. That's awesome. But I love how you talk about, when you talk about wrestling, you talk about, the feel and the energy, because that's what makes a pro wrestling show.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like the story and, how they make you feel, like that's what really does it. That's the magic of pro wrestling right there.
Yeah.
I'm glad he brought that up. All right, but with that being said, you also had on Andy Griggs on the show quite a few times. One time he started asking you about your hot sauce preferences.
Oh, yeah.
But I didn't get to find out what those were. We're big fans of hot sauce on the show. We don't do this. I don't take my chances with anybody Paula knows, because when we had Alexis Marrero on, when song breaks were going on, there's this little place called Bubba Coos that's up here in New Jersey. I started going to town during the break, and, Paula was very happy with the show. She was complimenting, the show. She was like, "I love, how you guys are on the air. You're so funny." And then, she just goes from complimenting me being so happy, and then there's a but there, and then she's just like, "Stop fucking eating on the show." And then there's a 10-minute rant about that, which I totally understand,
Which is why we got a bag of chips
radio,
right in front of us,
I
of
totally
course.
get it. I shouldn't have done that. I should have thought better. Maybe a song break is not the best time to do that. So, with anybody Paula has on the show, I normally take out the food segment, but we do have a hot sauce segment on here where, I'll introduce the hot sauce we're having, and I'll just go, "This is the fucking sauce." And then PJ usually turns red and has to go off camera for a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's tough out here for us, for us paper white people.
Well, it's tough for you. You're the one normally struggling.
Yeah, no, but you're pink white. I'm like I'm
tomato basil.
I'm Gates of Heaven white.
Yeah, that's fair. But I gotta ask, what are some of your hot sauce preferences?
I'm so white that I'm yellow.
Well, as a
What?
kid, I got started putting Tabasco on pizza, and nobody
Okay.
else did that when I was young. I mean, I was 12, you know.
Tabasco on pizza is a very good
it's-
one.
That's what it was made for, I feel like. And I like Louisiana hot sauce. I mean, if we're just talking about normal pepper sauces.
Okay.
There's some local folks. I go to a town we go to, and they have this farmer's market. And this lady makes her own, and
Okay.
it's called Scorpion is the flavor,
Ooh,
and it's hot. It's one of those where I'll break a sweat while I'm eating it,
that sounds
and
good.
my hair will be soaking wet because it's good. I can't stop eating it, even though my mouth is officially
That's
gone
perfect.
numb.
Those are the best.
That's perfect.
Those are the best.
That's the perfect sauce. That's what sauce
Yep.
is supposed to do.
Yep.
It's supposed to be something that you're suffering through, but it's
Yes.
so good that you keep eating it. That is the point of hot sauce. That's
Yes.
the beauty of it.
Yes.
You know,
Do you like hot sauce, John?
Here's the thing. No, because here's the thing. Like, I'll have these conversations with Abby, and because there's a couple things that I'll go full ghost pepper for,
Abby's his wife, by the way.
you know, and she's like, I don't understand why you put yourself through this. You just explained perfectly why I do this to myself and why I like to see PJ do it to himself even worse. So thank you. I appreciate that.
Oh, I suffer through it. I love every second of it.
Yeah, man. It's a beautiful thing.
I love hot sauce.
I do enjoy suffering through it with somebody else.
I love suffering with you, John.
100%. I could
Career-wise and with hot sauce.
Well, you're suffering career-wise by yourself. But so you're a radio show host now for Bryant Broadcasting and WILLY 98.7, 1550 AM, as we said in the intro. You were also a DJ for KBUS as far back as more than 35 years ago, as the late 80s, 1988, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. But
Yeah, that's right.
when I watched the interview on Entertainment with Claypool that you did, I heard you tell him that you had to lose your southern drawl because KBUS was a rock and roll station. When I hear you interview different people today, you still have that southern drawl. So my question to you is, would you have to change that today if you were to work in rock and roll and radio right now?
If it was classic rock, I don't think so.
Okay.
And it was more, I didn't have to lose my draw per se. It's pronunciation of certain words.
Okay.
Because being in East Texas,
Right.
it's its own dialect, as you know. Someone from Boston has a very distinct dialect, right?
Yeah.
But that wouldn't fly in the classic country format. So you'd
Yeah.
have to learn how to pronounce certain words differently.
Okay.
It was a similar thing for me, and that's just because I was untrained.
Yeah.
And I took an 18 to 24-year hiatus from radio.
Yeah.
So a lot of that, of course, I got old enough. I just don't think they cared. Frankly,
Yeah.
they said, "Yeah, it works. Let him do what he wants." So
Like
I
I
just kind
could,
of just run with it.
because here's the thing, I've never thought of it, but like I could see it if Kenny Graves is on like a hip hop station. And, hello there, I'm Kenny Graves. We're about to play you some Tupac, Dear Mama. Play a for real. Like,
Play it
This song
for
slaps.
real. We're about to play Tupac.
but like I've never thought of that because I've never heard that myself. Like working anywhere, I've never heard that at BCB. I've never heard that at any of the stations I've been at. I never heard that here.
Listen, all I'm saying is,
Listen, they don't have a problem with my accent at Governors. I know we haven't officially started there yet, but
listen. Here's my thing. I don't care who's running for president, but if one of them says that if we vote for them, they'll get every person with a southern drawl a banjo for free, my vote's going towards them. That's all I'm
so
saying.
you just want to see Kenny Graves with a banjo? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, because, dude, listen, because I feel like every person with a southern accent needs to have their own little banjo intro, and they can all do it themselves. They just
Quite
walk
frankly-
in, hey, what's up? I'm Kenny Graves.
Honestly, dude, I would much rather see Ruben, not know what to do with a banjo just because that makes no fucking sense. Like I feel like I could see what you're talking about, and it's beautiful in its own right.
Let's give banjos to
I kind of want to see Ruben just hold a banjo upside down.
Irish people would kill
Try to
that
play.
shit. Maybe the Russians.
Maybe.
Maybe give a banjo to the Russians. They'd probably find some way to make it like death fuck metal out of it.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know if death
That's a
fuck
thought.
metal exists, but if it doesn't yet, they'll do it with banjos.
Well,
the Russians.
it's going to exist at some point. It'll have a phase, I'm sure.
Death fuck metal.
It'll have a phase somewhere. But
Scatcore metal exists.
exactly.
There's an LP.
It'll find a way.
There's a metal band, or there's a guy who produces metal in Europe. His name is Christopher Bose. He had a side project. They had one LP that had six songs on it, and the band was called Boomalingus, and the LP was called 50 Shades of Poo, featuring songs titled
Mr. Heated Toilet Seat would know about this.
songs titled Shit Wizard. There's one called Anal Pizza Discharge, and many other.
I feel like that's after that was had after Pizza with
and
Tobacco
many other
Sauce.
Boomalingus classics. They're on Spotify.
You can find a lot of things there.
The profile picture is literally just a bunch of different pictures
the
of
dark
poop
side of
in
Spotify,
toilets
ladies and
with
gentlemen.
different colors on it.
But all right, let me get to.
I just
my
love
next
telling people
question
about
here. I gotta
Boomalingus.
Scroll down a little bit. But after you left K-Bus Radio, you went on to be a floor MC for a casino. But what I really want to talk about is at the time you were also a DJ at a dance hall. Talk to me a little bit about that experience, because I imagine being the floor MC, you're interacting with different people, on the casino floor, making sure they have a good time, because that's what you try to do.
Yeah.
Because when you're in AC, Vegas, anywhere, usually when you interact with people, in a casino setting, they're usually in a good mood because they want you to have a good time. They want you to stay there, even security and stuff like that a lot of times. So what I really want to talk about is the experience at the dance hall, being a DJ at the dance hall. Talk to me a little bit about that.
Did that for about 10 years. Started before I was legally old enough to be in there. And it's great. Dance halls are they're kind of a dinosaur now, because they were huge, where you could squeeze 800 to 1,000 people in, 1,000 square foot dance floor, and you've got strobe lights and laser lights and smoke machines, a little of everything.
Okay.
And and you get it about midnight, and that place is packed out, and it's an experience. You get that floor completely packed, and you just keep playing music. Don't let them leave. And we're in Texas. So there's a lot of two-stepping going on.
I'm sure.
We did all the rock and stuff too. Of course, this was early '90s.
Okay.
So, but it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it, reading the room and being involved. And of course, I did my share of dancing too, so I had good cardio back then.
Beautiful.
I love it. Let me ask you this though: was it in the actual casino? Because there's a lot when you go to a casino. Sometimes there's a lot of different clubs in there. Was it in the casino, or was it separate?
No. Dance halls were huge, and they were just independent bars.
Okay.
But they were big enough to bring in good size concerts, because they a lot of times have a huge stage, and of course you could squeeze in 800 people, so you could actually bring in good quality names or acts to play. Like I said, they're a dinosaur. They're pretty much extinct nowadays.
Okay.
Okay.
Because when he's talking to me about the place being packed out at midnight, smoke machines and stuff like that, I'm thinking of a vibe, that might be a place in the casino.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I know there's not a lot of dance halls nowadays, but I'm thinking it's kind of this. It's not really the same thing, but it kind of is in a way. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. I just
You guys definitely should check out Urban Cowboy.
okay.
John Travolta as a cowboy, for one, is an experience to watch anyway. But they spent a lot of their time at Gillies, and of course Gillies at the time in the 70s and early 80s was famous for having their that mechanical bull.
Okay.
So anyway, just trust me on that. Put that on your.
No, I
list.
trust you.
Cowboy.
He's trusting you with Buc-ee's. I'm trusting you with this for sure.
Yeah, I'm
I
trusting
might be down. I might be down far south enough for Buc-ee's either way. So
Listen, if I'm ever down south, Buc-ee's, I'm doing it.
yeah, but you did mention you were out of the industry for about 20-something years, and I actually do have it written down here. When I looked at LinkedIn, you know, and I go between 1994, 2017. I didn't see any other places you were hosting a radio show at. And
Nope.
again, you've been over that. But, you know, we'll talk about some of the other things you did in the meantime, and we already have a little bit. But you did work in the oil industry for a while because, you know, you saw some friends, you know, I guess checks.
Yeah.
And
See
are
those
like,
paychecks.
yeah. And you're like, why am I not doing this? Which is why I originally did swim instructing, because I was guarding before that.
Okay.
And I found out I could make like double as a swim instructor. I'm like, what am I doing here?
Fair.
But that was how I started actually.
This man be teaching kids to not drown. It's a very reputable job. Everyone give it a... Yo, Ruben,
think I do okay.
Ruben, you saw that applause pulled up?
Sure, you could do that if you want. I mean,
Well, no, we're sticking with the bit. I don't care how long it
nothings
takes.
to me. It's my birthday.
Guys, give it up for John, guys. His birthday. He's teaching kids how to not die in the water, guys.
Although I took off today.
He took off today, but so some kids might die because of him. Some kids might die tomorrow because of you.
I mean,
Happy birthday, by the way.
Wouldn't make a lot of sense to go to the pool without me, though. I'm just gonna say that.
That applause was so perfectly
Thanks a lot,
timed.
Ruben.
Ruben,
A lot of support here at Hamilton Radio.
Ruben, I
Clearly.
fucking love you.
I don't know if I could, you know, echo that sentiment right now.
Ruben, you silly guy.
Absolutely valid, 100%. So what I wanted to ask, you know, learning that is, what made you want to do radio today knowing that? Did you need a change of pace? Did you feel like you were a little bit comfortable after doing that for a while? I know there was a situation with a boss where, you know, that wasn't great, but and I can relate to that 100%. But
Same.
you know, that still kind of leaves the question: did you feel comfortable leaving? Did you need a change of pace? What was it that made you want to come back?
I needed to do something at that point because I felt beaten down and defeated, and I've never felt that way as a professional doing anything.
Yeah.
It wouldn't matter if I was sweeping. I'm going to be the best sweeper I can be, right?
That's awesome.
But I was just miserable, and I talked to my wife about it. I told her, I said, I think I'd go back into radio.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what she was going to say. I mean, she said, do it. I said, we're going to be poor. She said, I don't care. I'll go back to work. So we got used to having those comfortable big checks. But I'll tell you what, I wouldn't trade one day of it because this is what I'm meant to be doing.
Yeah,
I respect that.
No, I love that. I love that 100%.
That's amazing.
As long as you can, you know, enjoy what you're doing and find some value in it.
Yeah, the bills are all paid. You know, it's just we don't have the frills and extra we used to have, but all the bills are paid. The kids and grandkids are all healthy, so we're okay.
That's all.
Beautiful.
That's all you need. Long as you have that.
Yeah.
You got a roof over your head. That's what's important.
That's
yeah.
beautiful.
100%. No, I feel that. But, you know, I'm looking over here at the list of questions that I have. There it is.
Oh, never mind.
I saw you were a floor MC for a casino, as we talked about. I also saw a CD reviewer. You reviewed music for bridgethebeats.com, along with many other things in between. So this question to you is actually a little bit of a two-parter. Part one is, did you get your start in radio with K-Bus in 1988, or does your start in radio go back even further? Part two is, did anything happen in radio in between that time? If yes, feel free to talk about it. If no, how did you get back into it? Was it ever like a thought or anything like that, you know, through that time span where you weren't really super involved? Because there was the CD reviewer thing, so I didn't know if there was any like involvement that might have been like a little bit like on the side, like if that makes sense.
I got to a point where after a few years, I've missed radio.
Okay.
But, you know, then, of course, I started getting busy, making money, and, you know, I kind of let that pass. I got kind of in, when I moved down here, met my wife, kind of got involved in the local music scene because it's a pretty happening place between San Antonio, Houston, Dallas, this whole triangle area down here. Yeah. There's a lot going on. We have our own genre, we have our own music charts. I mean, it's a thing. And we got involved with some folks that were moving up, you know, starting out and moving up. And it just so happened I started doing PR work for friends of mine, a family band who were really good. And a buddy of mine who was a promoter asked me about reviewing for a magazine and a website. You mentioned Bridge the Beats.
Yeah.
And I'm like, sure. And it was a creative outlet, which that's what radio gave me all those years ago.
Yeah.
So it kind of, and being involved in music in some capacity filled that void I kind of had, and it soothed that itch. But I did that for a little while, and somebody else I think took over the magazine, so I stopped doing it. But it was fun. But it's hard because, even if I didn't like somebody's work, I'm not going to dump on it because they really poured their heart and soul into it.
Yeah, that's absolutely fair.
Yeah. So it's not my place to say. So I would just tell him if I didn't like an album, I'd just say, give me something else, because I don't want to be that negative guy because nobody likes that guy.
Yeah.
But it was something I enjoyed, but it did kind of make me start thinking about radio. So when everything else went south, that's when radio came calling. I guess this whispering in my ear, but it was time to get back in. Of course, I'm like Rip Van Winkle because when I got out of radio, it was still live 24/7, 365, and now so much of it is through computer. So it's a lot different. It took a little while to get my feet under me, but everything's good.
I mean, did it feel like it took a while to get your feet under you when you were like behind like a mic and everything? Because I'm sure with the technology side of it, it takes a little bit. It took a little bit to kind of get your feet under you with the mic again.
Yes, just the way you talk, and you're basically talking to people every day, all the time. So it's a matter of your pacing and how you pronounce your words and the whole thing. And a lot of it for me was pacing because I didn't want to talk too fast, didn't want to talk too slow. We Southerners get a bad rap for talking slow anyway. So I wanted to get that down, and confidence. A lot of it is simply confidence, and that simply comes by repetition. And that's it.
Yeah.
So I had to jump in the deep end of the pool and just start swimming.
For sure.
Absolutely.
100%, man. But I want to tell you that I really, really appreciate you taking the time out to be on today. I always enjoy it when I get somebody that's a fellow radio show host that is, able to be on the show.
Absolutely, yeah. No,
shoot the shit about it.
This was great. This was lovely. You're a very interesting person. I've heard much about you from John.
They should put you in a Dos Equis commercial.
What? That was perfect timing. What was that?
He says Ruben is certainly not the most interesting man in the world.
Ruben is the most interesting man in the world.
Stay thirsty, my friends. But again, I just really want to say I appreciate you coming on the show, taking the time out to be here, especially with, the start in the morning. Really, really love having you on, man. You're going to boo Kenny Graves? You're going to boo Kenny Graves off the air, Ruben?
I think he was booing you, dude. I think he was booing you, John.
Why is he booing me? Did I do something, sir?
Yo, are we trying these chips for WTF?
Should we?
Yes.
What are these chips called? Let me see.
Kenny,
Let's see what they're called.
this is for you.
These are turtle chips, sweet corn flavor.
Wow, Kenny gets a standing ovation, and John gets booed.
Kenny should
And
Kenny should
John?
curtsy for the camera right now.
Cheers.
You like it?
Oh my God, that's an amazing chip. That's a really good chip.
Is it?
Oh my God, dude, eat it.
All right.
I love my slap
I'll let Tracy know you booed the chips. No, but
turtle. I'm listening. What are we getting out of the turtle?
all right,
turtle.
let me see.
Sweet corn flavor.
Yeah, we picked those up from H Mart.
That's a lie.
It's not bad.
Not bad. You like it?
Yeah, I could eat it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
it's
good.
it's very sweet, like it says.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
All right,
But
we tried the chips for
I
the people.
enjoyed it. I know Tracy didn't like it. But,
I enjoyed it.
I could definitely eat it. I could eat more of these for sure.
Ken, you want me to
But
mail you
then-
one?
But then again, I'm on a seafood diet. I could pretty much eat a lot of anything.
Because when you see food, when you see it, I get the joke. You see it.
Did you actually really? I want to believe him.
I hate you, John.
All right, cool. After a while, I kind of wanted to believe you.
Just lean into it.
But once again, thank you for being on, and just let everybody know before we go where they can find you.
Oh, it's easy enough. Willie with a Y, WILLY98.7.com, or Conversations with Kenny Graves, anywhere that's podcast or hosted. Appreciate that. And happy
All
birthday,
right.
John. PJ, I had boots older than you, brother, but it was great to get to know you.
That's a fair statement, sir.
That's a true statement.
And Ruben, appreciate the conversation as well, brother. Y'all all have
You
a
too,
great
brother.
one, and,
Yeah,
hope to
man.
catch y'all down the
You
road.
This was lovely, my man.
Definitely.
Love to get you back on sometime.
This has been Hot Tag Takes. John Brecko, co-host PJ Morin, over here with Kenny Graves and Ruben's bald head.
Follow Hot Tag Takes at John Brecko on all social media, and follow me on all social media at the PJ Morin. That's ThePJMorin. Hot Tag Takes.
That's right.
Like, rate, and
Subscribe, everybody.
Subscribe.
Help us get to 500. We're at 390.
That's John Brecko, JOHNBRECKO, or Hot Tag Takes, HOT.
Hot Tag Takes. We'll be back tomorrow
KES.
with Ryan O'Neal.
Ryan O'Neal.
Deuces.
Deuces, babes.